Josh, isn't that a cute little girly boy millennial name? No, Josh, huh? And you were saddled with it by the idiot single-parent mommy who was on welfare. And so now, because you're still living in mommy's little fucking sinister basement, you have nothing else to do but write trash about people whose agenda really you don't agree with, because it makes you get up off your ass and work and be a little more creative and be a little more diligent and just kind of, ride the American wave. But you want to ride mommy's little tit just by sucking on it because you don't have the gumption or whatever it takes to get out there and be a man. So you just want to continue being a little girly boy. Isn't that nice? And so you write shit about everybody that you don't agree with, and you take it from the words of all these other little disenchanted little pissants, and it must be a miserable existence. Well, I have a solution for you, little pissant girly boy Josh. You go to SteveHornerBooks.com and you read cunt. Huh? Put some fucking little cunt in your life, because that'll help you be, well, I don't think you'll ever reach the caliber of being a man, but it might strengthen your backbone a little bit. Okay, girly boy? Get some cunt in your life there, dipshit.
Well, that's the best book advertisement I've ever heard. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the first stream on this new schedule that I guess people have to get used to. Hopefully I can stream at this time, because it would be a lot more convenient. Last Wednesday was when I last streamed, and I decided to just wing it and complain. And boy, oh boy, did I get some stimulating email over me talking about politics. My favorite of all the replies I got, by the way, was that I got an email from some guy who said, quote, "It was above my pay grade to talk about where we put our military bases, because the generals at the top of the military get paid a lot of money to figure out where we should position our bases. And I have no right whatsoever to have an opinion on how many bases we have near Iran and how close they are to the border, because I do not get paid enough by the government to opine on such things." Big thank you to the very intellectual bootlicker who came up with that opinion, because that is phenomenal. Thank you. Okay. I want to avoid politics today, because I did that last stream, and politics aren't fun. I agree that politics aren't fun, so we're going to avoid it, and instead we're going to talk about Paul Krugman and how he downloaded child pornography, because that's a lot more fun. Sorry, allegedly downloaded pornography of children. This guy is the biggest retard to probably ever exist. He, without any controversy, without anyone knowing about this, he decided to jump in front of the media train by saying that a hacker used his IP address to download child pornography out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, he decided to do this. So big congratulations to this guy. What's interesting about this guy, I wouldn't even mention this, but something really struck me. He's already deleted this tweet, which it's quoted here. "I'm on my phone with my computer security service, and as I understand it, someone compromised my IP address and is using it to download child pornography. I might just be a random target, but this could be an attempt to QAnon me. It's an ugly world out there." I don't know what any of that means. I've been in IT my entire life. I have no idea what compromise my IP address means. And I don't know what it means to be QAnon. That's a very... I'm curious now, because this guy is not like some random schmuck who just happened to get a blue check mark. He's been like an economist for 40 years or something. He's a New York Times contributor. He's a best-selling author. And somehow this guy, in his weird mind, he believes that to QAnon someone is to frame them, I guess. So I don't know how we got to that conclusion. And even though this man presumably has money, because he's like a New York Times contributor and author, decided not to use any of that money to hire anyone who knew anything about anything to check this tweet to make sure that it wasn't the most retarded tweet ever made. He could have like phoned his little cousin or something, you know, like his brother's grandchild, and be like, "Hey, little Timmy, you're 13-year-old and you play Fortnite. Can you like check this tweet to make sure that it makes any sense whatsoever?" And little Timmy would look at that and go, "Granddad, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is nonsense." And they would have come up with a better tweet. But for some reason, this is what they went with. The really interesting thing about this Paul Krugman guy is he's famous for a quote. I have my Snopes article open here. He says in this conference from 1998 that the internet's effect on the world economy will be no greater than the fax machines. That is to say that the internet will have no more an impact on the economy than a fax machine. And he did say that. Now, what's really interesting about this Snopes article saying that he did in fact say this is that it then goes on to apologize for him. Venturing predictions of large-scale socioeconomic trends is part and parcel of what economics or economicists do. So for members of that august profession, the odds are fairly high that now and again one will be required to eat one's own words. And then goes on to explain that when he makes negative forecasts about the Donald Trump economy and other economic predictions that are slanted against the right, they bring up this quote. And Snopes is making the entire fact check about this article is saying you can't use this quote to discredit what this man says. And more interestingly is I went to Google and I typed in Paul Krugman and then space. And for some reason, even though this typewriter quote is so famous, it's like a meme that they have to preemptively debunk in the Snopes article for him. If I type in TY, I get no suggestions, and then only once I hit P does the word type come up, followed by typewriter. And that's probably because typewriter is the only word that can come up from that letter combination at this point. If I try to type in child, for instance, nothing comes up. If I try to type in tweet, I don't get anything about this weird thing that everyone is talking about overnight that's gotten thousands of replies and retweets. It's just scrub. And I really wish I had that kind of SEO power that I could just manipulate the results like this. Though if you're curious, I went ahead and read his Wikipedia entry, and I went to the early life section, and I had some really informative observations about the early life of Paul Krugman. And if you are at all interested in the favoritism demonstrated here, you could look yourself at the early life section of the Paul Krugman Wikipedia article and learn some things about him and why he might get this treatment. Okay, let's move on. I'm done talking about this man and how he obviously downloads child pornography. Let's see. I did some research. I promised last Wednesday. Last Wednesday we went through and watched a couple. We watched a couple videos about Nick Fuentes and how he went on a very, very interesting date with a guy named Lolly Socks or Catboy Cammy. And I made a promise as I was doing this that I would look deeper into it because I was already leaning on the Fuentes side because, as I've said in the past, I think humor is important to any movement. And even if you're trying to preach a kind of social conservatism, it's a good idea to have a sense of humor because nobody wants to live in a less interesting world, even if it's more idyllic, right? So I took it all with a grain of salt, and I assumed that he was being kind of ironic. And I think he did cross the line to implicate himself and the sins around him. But based on the fact that he has a lot of crazy weirdos who are actual pedophiles fucking with him, I'm tempted to just write it off as being a smear effort, because a lot of people were very interested in having me talk about him and having me put him down. So I'm very tempted to give him a pass. No e-girls, cat boys only. Yeah. There's more stuff. Like there's stuff in his Discord where he made like a Catboy channel and stuff, and people started posting like hentai pics in it. which again is kind of weird for what he's going for, but it's just bad optics as opposed to me getting suspicious of him. You get Josh is sensible. Oh, thank you. Oh my god, that's like the nicest thing that anyone has ever said about me. What the fuck is this sticker that someone just paid? What is an RSD? Someone just paid me 150 RSDs to send me a hippo sticker, and I am completely confounded by this. When I search RSD, I get reflex symptomatic dystrophy syndrome. What is this? Serbian dinar. Oh my god. What a preposterous thing that just happened. Oh, people are bullying me. They're saying that I have conflicting Catboy interests with Nick Fuentes. I will dispel such rumors immediately. I've never spoken to Nick Fuentes, and we have never had a three-way date with a Catboy. So you can take those rumor mongerings and shove it up your ass. Though I spent a good deal of today not just looking at Catboy footage with Nick Fuentes, of course, but watching the People's Populist Press stream about the kill stream, and I'm torn. On one hand, it's like it goes back and forth. On one hand, if someone is showing up to your stream drunk and are being obnoxious, you're perfectly within your right to fire them, even if you're not really paying them. I don't know if they paid Randbot for his appearances on the kill stream, but I mean, Ralph would be in his right to dismiss him if he's being obnoxious. But on the other hand, it's very rich for Ralph to dismiss anyone for being drunk on his stream, because if anyone has gotten drunk on the Ralph retort, it would be Ralph. But then, PPP is definitely back, my guys. His last stream about the kill stream was pretty funny. He went pretty hard on some people. I wouldn't want to repeat some of the things he said, but it was quality entertainment. I left a post saying something like, "It's funny how PPP is both like the most ineloquent person to ever live, but also the most well-spoken person to ever live." He like chops out these sentences that make you think for a couple of seconds to kind of catch up. The PPP is on a different plane, a different existential plane than you that you can only look up at. They already made up? Are you kidding me? Didn't PPP called that? PPP called that they would make up immediately. Oh, they did make up. Wow, that's funny. That's funny that it already happened. When did that happen? Because I didn't see it. 36 minutes ago. Okay, just in time to make me look like an idiot because I didn't see it. Let's see. I was out grocery shopping. I didn't see it. So, okay, they already made up then. Well, I was just going to comment that it was a bet, because in the exchange, Ralph brought up Randbot talking to him in private about a miscarriage, and apparently he recorded that conversation. So that's really skeevy, and PPP made an effort to kind of tell the other co-host, Flamenco, to be careful, because Ralph is apparently he records conversations with you and stuff, right? I mean, that's a pretty vicious thing, especially in public, like offhanded like that, just to throw out there, oh, hey, I recorded this conversation with you being emotional. I will use this against you if you make me look bad. And I don't know, I find that skeevy. But on the other hand, again, back and forth, it's like a hot potato. From what I was told, Randbot really is in a socially isolated situation, and he probably very much enjoys being on the Ralph retort, and he gets a lot out of it. So that's probably, I don't buy that Ralph like extorted him into coming back to the show. I don't think he would have done that. But I do think he gets a lot out of it, more so than just having fun on the internet doing a live talk thing. Let's see. Let's check chat. I see a lot of people spamming. Ralph is China. I don't know how that makes sense. Rand spoke about it on stream too. Oh, the miscarriage? I don't know. But he was specifically threatening him with like a recorded call though. Like that's something that you keep in the, like if I were to talk to Ralph, I would have to, even not to say I mean, yeah, it's like you have to be careful. If he's recording calls and stuff like that, you have to be careful. You should always be careful when talking to people on the internet, right? But now you know that that is a thing that is a possibility. So you have to be careful. Did you see where Fuentes was justifying the dildo by saying he was using it as a straw? As far as I'm aware, that's true. Catboy Cammy uses a hollowed out horse dildo as a straw. The cum tube that you would use to inject into yourself like artificial semen has been retrofitted to be a straw for the purposes of drinking water. At least that's what I've been informed of. That seems to be the truth. Oh, he was sent the tape by a viewer. Oh, okay, you're right. I think that what happened is that he talked about it on a different stream and it got recorded and he threatened to release it or something. I don't know. That's yeah, you're right. I do remember that. Holy shit, that's gay. Bad optics. I do agree, it's bad optics. You have to be careful. And he can have a good joke, but the joke should end before 10 hours. Your hetero or homoerotic skit should not last 10 hours. That's a bit much. Oh, it wasn't private. Whatever. I'm just okay. Whatever. There was a call. It was recorded. Ralph threatened to release it, regardless of if it was private or public prior. Threatening to use that in any context is a little bit mean spirited, and it's not something I would do. I don't think. Not to anyone who's a former friend, because again, you're telling all possible future friends that you have to be careful, because this is a card that's on the table. You know what I mean? No matter what the context is, it's just something that in the spirit of bad optics is bad optics. Oh yeah, and his D Live got. Is he really not going to get the $700 because his D Live got flagged? That's crazy, man. If because what happened is, according to PPP, is that people who were fans of the Ralph Retort went into Rand's D Live, where he was doing a post-stream rant about what had happened, where he ended up yelling at his wife on stream, like audibly screaming at her. It's not a hyperbole. He yelled at her, like, "Get the fuck out!" Like, shut up. He was verbally abusive towards her. Hopefully that's not the norm. Hopefully that's just an outburst. But he streamed that, and during this, he was also streaming like Nazi stuff, and apparently that's against DLive rules. So it got reported and taken down. On one hand, flagging, that's snitching. No matter how you want to put it, that's snitching. I don't know if it was Ralph's people. It could just be opportunistic people flagging, and it's at heart, it's Rand's fault if he streamed something that could get him taken down. But taking his money, that seems illegal. That seems like something that would be a criminal thing. Because I remember, you know what? It is. Here's what I would do if I was Rand Bot. Because I don't know if they're a U.S.-based company, but chances are they do have to follow American regulatory law like that. There is a court case, and this is not legal advice. This is just what I would do as a crazy person on the internet who has never once looked at a courtroom in person. Is I would cite the Google AdSense case, where Google withheld AdSense money to accounts that were suspended. And there was a big deal, and a lot of people got their money back because they lost. So simply tell DLive, this is what I would do, again, as a crazy person with no legal expertise ever. I don't even have a lawyer in my family who is still on talking terms with me. Tell them that Google lost this case, and they should definitely pay out, because otherwise I would cause problems for you. Gunt cucked for China. Well, I also love China, so I can't I can't give them too bad for that. Yesterday my Xiaomi Redmi 8 came in, and I've been having a lot of fun setting up my new China spyware phone, and that's not a joke. That is my new model of phone. Got many lawyers in my family? Not that I know of, just the one. Okay, still miscarriage perk, ran out of luck. PPP stream was good. I don't know who that guy is that's in PPP streams that yells from off camera, but it's pretty funny. I like that guy, even if he's a weirdo. He's a good kind of weirdo. Let's take a break for a phone call. Where is my phone? There it is.
Hello, Josh. This is Steve Horner. I left you a message last week regarding my opinion of your Dippy website. Last night, apparently, as a result of that phone call, I received no fewer than 3 angry phone calls from a guy who I think identified himself as Knox from ArcNet. And Knox seems lonely, angry, uninformed. And therefore, I'm willing to reach out to him and answer his questions to help set him straight on a course of civility, happiness, and moral righteousness. But I'm only going to give him one more chance here. So you call your friend Knox, and I'll take his call in 1 hour and 45 minutes. That would be noon Mountain Central Time. Okay? I don't take calls unless I recognize who they're coming from, because I get a lot of lopsided calls from lopsided people like Knox. And you know how these scoundrels do it, because you probably participate in this cowardice behavior yourself, and that is that you reroute the calls through different servers. Oh, clever, but very cowardly. Okay, so I don't take the calls, but if you want to get a hold of your lonely friend and have him call me, I'll take a call when it comes in at noon Mountain Central Time today. I'll be happy to answer his questions, because that's what I'm in business for, because I truly, honestly, wholeheartedly believe in everything I promote and preach. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I am not a liar. I am not a coward. I am not a stupid man. And so, therefore, if I can help set straight any of the misguided youth in America, I feel that is my privilege and my obligation. If he's got some serious questions to ask, I'm there for him as the answer man. You've got my number. Knox has my number. I'll be at the phone at that's actually 1 hour and 40 minutes from now. That's noon Mountain Central Time.
What the fuck is Mountain Central Time? I've been trying to figure this out for several days now, and I'm not any closer to it. I got an email from this guy, from Steve at stevehornerbooks.com, to press at kiwifarms.net, cc, admin at kiwifarms.net. Greetings to all you pasty-faced little twits working out of your enabling mom's basement because you're unable to make a living in the real world. First, I'm so excited about our most excellent president, Donald J. Trump, riding roughshod on you pissant dopes, and all your angry, revengeful policies and principles must make you miserable. I'm very glad about that. Secondly, to help you see outside your cage, I'm inviting you to read my pink book, Your Color, Cunt, at stevehornerbooks.com. It might help you get a job away from mommy's tit. It'll certainly help you deal more effectively with 5 more years of Donald Trump. He has only just begun to pull the rug out from under you miserable, baby-killing creeps. Have a good day. I do every day. Thanks, Steve. Let's learn more about Steve. Steve is a social activist who was raised with five brothers, holy shit, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The only families with 5 or 6 boys, 6 children these days out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, are from Somalia. He was an army infantryman in Vietnam, got a Purple Heart like John Kerry for being wounded. He was in the broadcasting industry. That's why he has that great smoky voice when he calls me a little pissant. And he was a single parent. I don't know how that happens. 2 young sons as a single parent. started doing volunteer work, coaching, and blah, 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 blah. Has written and self-published many books. And these are the books. Dear Folks, commemorating the 50th anniversary of a infantryman's personal, unedited letters sent home for Vietnam. CUNT, Can't Understand Normal Thinking, and it appears to be a hammer trying to hammer in a square peg into a round hole. Tackling Single Parenting from a Man's Point of View, a practical guide for moms and dads. The Unusual Frank White Man, and The Boys of Wagon Wheel Stable, Bittersweet Memories of Youth and Flawed Social Policies of Today. Very interesting person. I'm tempted to call him by the end of the stream because he is very angry, and I don't know why he's so angry at me. I would love to find out. So I'm saving that for the end of the stream. I got one more voicemail from him that I'll play. But I'll save that. The two more things that I got before we cap off with that. Jonathan Yaniv, I think I mentioned this, but he's back at it. And I talked about this yesterday or on Wednesday. But I really sometimes I don't understand how people feel about things. So if you're Canadian, I want a moment with my Canadian fans, all three of you. What the fuck? What are you going to do now? Because the Human Rights Tribunal has penalized Jonathan Yaniv for abuses of the court. He has been officially penalized. They are demanding him to pay lawyers' fees for the esthetician facilities that he's wrongly brought forward before the court. And immediately after this, he's gone to Facebook and attempted to contact these other women, and already has filed a Human Rights Tribunal complaint with the court for the exact same shit. The exact same shit that's already been thrown out. And because of how the Human Rights Tribunal works, they're either going to have to capitulate, give him money, hire a lawyer, or something, because it's. I mean, he's literally. They have a system set up on which he is complaining to people, complaining to the government that his fundamental human rights have been violated, and they have to hear it out. So, if you are Canadian, I'm reading chat now. Tell me what you feel about this, because it's weird to me. It's weird to me when I think about other countries and how they have courts specifically dedicated to this kind of stuff. Because I know that like Germany has like their constitutional court and stuff, and Canada has the Human Rights Tribunal. All these countries after the Second World War developed this bilateral court system. In the case of Canada, trilateral, because I think they have civil, criminal, and then human rights. Someone's advocating violence. I don't condone that. Send them to prison, but on what grounds? Is it illegal? What crime has he committed? As far as I know, he's not broken any crimes. And there's a guy in the Jonathan Yaniv forum who has been talking about this. And people are getting really angry because it seems like, on the surface level, it seems like he is defending Jonathan Yaniv, right? It seems like he's saying that he has a claim here, he has a right to do this. But from a neutral point of view, he's correct, right? He's saying that this is just how the system is. And it is this broken, and there's nothing they can do about it. They're going to have to fight this toe-to-toe in the court. And it's just really depressing. He's already back on Twitter, bragging about it. Posting chat logs with people and stuff. I gotta close that right. Okay. So he again, the issue is that a woman and a man have different genital configurations, and the process for Brazilian wax for a man and a woman are technically distinct, and estheticians usually are gender segregated. You rarely find an esthetician that works on both men and women, especially in the genital region. They work on the gender that they are so that the clients are more comfortable, right? So it's strange And it's technically impossible. If you're going to a female esthetician that works on women and you're saying wax my balls, they literally do not have the certification or knowledge to do that. There was a video I played of a feminist from the Netherlands, and she made the joke that if his punishment for these things is just having a female esthetician that works on women, give him a Brazilian in the style of how they do it on women, which is just to put wax on it and rip it out, which would be horrifically painful on testicles. So I don't know. It's strange to me, and I'm curious to see how it plays out, because he's currently awaiting trial already for the illegal weapons possession. He had a taser that he showed to Blair White, and that got reported to the police, and he got arrested at the court. And they pressed charges on him for having an illegal weapon. So now I'm curious if this is going to compound that. What's going to happen? Because it seems like he knows from a legal perspective that the courts are impotent and they aren't going to do anything about this. And he is completely content to stomp and stomp and stomp on it for as long as they're willing to put up with it. Waxing nuts is nothing like waxing a labia. That's just facts. No, it is completely true. There's different certifications for it. There's different specialties for it. It's completely and totally distinct. In the same way that any other genital-based operation or anything would be. You wear different clothes. You go to different doctors. It's all completely different, no matter what people want to believe. PhD in ball waxing. I don't think the tribunal can do anything unless Yanev brings it to the Supreme Court. I mean, he's already said that he's not going to pay the fine. And this was what the guy got reported for, that guy who was arguing in defense of Yanev's legal situation, was that when he said, I'm not going to pay this money to these people, they're all saying, oh my God, he's going to go to jail for contempt of court. And apparently, saying that you're not going to pay a fine and not paying the fine is not even a criminal thing. It's another civil thing. So those women who are owed that money for those legal fees already are going to have to take Yanev to civil court again to try and force them to get him to pay them money. And because of how terrible his SEO is right now, there's no way that he's going to be able to ever pay them back. You know what I mean? He's not making money from his SEO services anymore when his name is so terribly obliterated on search results. It was already bad when he was just dealing with me, but now that this stuff went international, it's impossible to recover. So I have no idea. It's a really bad situation. I feel terrible for the women involved because he's just going to keep doing this. It's his fetish, obviously. This is sexually arousing to him. He's into this, and he's going to keep doing it because he likes the attention. He likes the negative attention. He likes it when people get all angry with him. He's like a Brian Dunn in that sense, where he is a glutton for punishment. So I don't know. It's really bad. I feel sorry for Canadians. There's a I want to see if I can find this real quick. Yeah, there it is. There is a movement to make Alberta the 51st state with the United States of America. And it's like all these arguments for joining the United States and what the process would be and how they get the votes and stuff. And, you know, I'm a weirdo. I like things for weird reasons, right? My favorite thing about this is let me pull this. I didn't plan to show this, but it's really funny. It's really funny to me. It's like, because I just I just see it in my head, and this isn't going to make sense if you're listening to the podcast, but I love all the maps that are drawn with Alberta as part of the United States. Look at how ridiculous the United States looks with that fucking brain tumor sticking out the top. The parallel is completely shattered. There's just this weird like pimple on the scalp of our country with Alberta integrated into the United States. It's just ridiculous looking. I would vote to keep Alberta as part of Canada strictly on the border gore. That's abysmal. It's brainlet. Yeah, it does. It looks like Wojak with like his skull collapsed. Alberta is awful. What I've been told about Alberta that would be a good reason to take Alberta from Canada is that they have all the oil. all the petroleum engineering in Canada comes from Alberta, and they make so much money for the government in Canada that their complaint is, and the reason why they want to go to the United States is that they make so much money that all the socialist policies that are passed by Trudeau that negatively impact the country are funded basically by the Albertan oil industry. So if all you people being a Debbie Downer about Alberta and looking up this map saying the United States looks ridiculous with Alberta, keep in mind every one of those stars is a huge oil well that we can be tapping right now. So we gotta go in there, boys. We gotta send the Marines in and take back Alberta. It's rightful American clay, and they did burn our White House. So fair is fair. Okay, now hold up. I want to check this real quick. I want to check this. Policies and safety. When you use YouTube, blah blah blah. Hateful content. That's it. Let's learn more. Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on any of the following attributes: age, caste, disability, ethnicity, gender identity and expression, nationality, race, immigration status, religion, sex, gender, sexual orientation, victims of a major violent event and their kin, and veteran status. Well, let me double check. Control F. FAT. Wait. Nope, not there. Alright, we're good. I'd like to introduce you to a new favorite. Her name is Amy Ramadan, and she is a American convert to Islam. Though that's not what's funny about her. Her weight is. I can say that. I just read the policies. There's nothing about making fun of her weight. It's perfectly cool to convert to Islam. I want to show you this video by her because it's very funny. Chantal and Amberlynn have just been going through the New Year stuff where they talk about losing weight. And it's boring. So I need a fix. So I'm hoping that Mrs. Amy Ramadan, a new contestant, can fill that gaping hole inside of me. Where is this? Aha. Okay, I have some timestamps for this. Let's see, first one's at 5.
For me personally, I have very, very sensitive skin. So I can't use like the Dove body shampoo or Dove body scrub, Suave, anything with like a perfume in it. It's really weird because this is what's strange, and it's going to sound like I contradict myself. Anything with like a perfume in it, I can't use it because once I go and I start washing my downstairs vaginal area, yeah. For some reason, even though I can rinse it.
This entire video is about how to clean yourself as a morbidly obese woman, which is perfectly okay to make fun of. We just checked the policies
out as good as possible. I, for some reason, always have the feeling that there's still something there. And eventually I start burning down there. And I don't, but I've always been susceptible to UTIs. Even when I was little, I used to love bubble.
I think that's the end of that clip. There's a couple timestamps. A couple of them are long. They're long after this one. But I just wanted to give you a deep dive into the cold, icy waters of this video before I go deeper into it. Let me teach you guys something about Islam, because we here love diversity and we love Israel. So we're looking at her, right, and she's wearing. There are a variety of what's called. Let's see. This is my poster. This guy is like Niazamek or something, Nazak or something, and he makes great anime Islam posters like this, and I'm a big fan of him. Now this is a different image. It's about types of Islamic veils. So you see that there's like the shaila, which is like a scarf that you wrap around the head, a hijab, which is much tighter. It goes back around the neck. I think it's one whole piece. The al-amira, which is much longer and covers a lot of your chest and sometimes your shoulders. And I'll show you 2 pictures of that. The kamir, which is much longer still, and it kind of just hangs from the head to the elbows. The chador, which is like a black blanket that you wrap around yourself. the niqab, which is much more, it's like an Arab thing, and then you can only see your eyes, and then the burqa, and the burqa is only in Afghanistan. It's usually blue, and it covers you from head to toe, and there's usually some kind of coverage over the eyes, so you can't even see that. So these are the different kinds of Islamic veils. The one she's wearing is called an al-amira. So let's look at two al-amiras. Here's a woman. She's wearing it so that it covers her chest. And the main thing is the hair. In Islam, you have to cover the hair because that's sexual. And then the other way to wear it is when it's much longer. You can wear it past your shoulders like this. So this is how you would wear the al-amira. Let's go back to Amy Ramadan. This is not how you wear the al-amira. This is a pink bib, because it's supposed to be like a she bought like the big shoulder length one, but it can't expand to cover her shoulders, so it looks like a bib. Now the other thing is that you can see in this one that the scarf wraps tightly around the circumference of the long side of your head, and it's very tightly, snugly covering your head. She's wrapped this around her second chin, and as a result, it doesn't fit correctly, and it leaves a lot of her hairline visible, which is why she's wearing the hat. The hat is something from African Islam to cover your hair. So her al-amira is insufficient to coat the face, the volume, the surface area of her face, and also her hair at the same time. So she has to wear a secondary device under the al-amira to properly cover her hairline. So this has been a brief introduction to Islamic hair veils, and I hope you found this informative. Let's continue with this video.
To wash myself where I can't reach like my back or the back areas back here, I use, which is, and I don't have it on me, it's in the bathroom, but it's a scrub fufa. I had to think about it for a minute because I call it something else on accident.
Editor's note, it is not called a fufa.
And I always want to call it that. I always want to call it a fupa, and I found out fupa's not the right word for it. Huh, go figure. So it's one of those fufas that's stuck on a stick, and I use that to like wash the back part of my back and wash my arms, you know, and all of that stuff around my neck. Then I just use my hands, because that's why God gave us hands, and I just wash the rest of my body in all the areas, because at least with my fingers, I can make sure that I get in all the areas that really need to be scrubbed. Clearly, your body's got to get scrubbed. And then once it gets into the areas where it's a little bit down-regioned areas, I just hike my leg up on the side of the bathtub and I go to town and I just scrub away. And also, so now I've gotten to the point where I can reach those areas with my hand, but there was a time where I could not reach those areas with my hand. And so I also would use the fufa on a stick, and I would use that to wash all my vagina.
Fufa on a stick. That's funny. She said it so perfectly. Hold on.
To wash all my vaginal and my
We're gonna have to listen to this 10 more times. I'm trying to get this framed. Here, so someone very accurately pointed this out in the chat. Her left hand is normal. Her right hand is bloated. I think she has really bad allergies because her hand is like inflamed, and she talks about allergies in other parts of this video.
And I need to get it clean, so that's what I did. And then once I'm completely done, have washed my whole body with soap, then I use my shower hose, and I'm able to just move it around and get underneath all of my rolls and make sure everything's clean, hike my leg back up on the bathtub, scrub it down there and rinse it really good, and then I'm done. I have never gotten to the point where I have to sit down in my shower, but there's been a point where it was very, very, very extremely hard to shower.
Okay, this is one of my favorite parts, what she talks about in this next minute.
Standing for very long, so I took very quick showers, and at that point, that's when my husband stepped in and started helping me bathe, because I couldn't do, it was too much to stand and wash my body. it was getting too much physically. So my husband stepped in and said, hey, you know what? This is why I'm here. I'm your husband. Let me help you, and I will help wash these areas because I know they're hard for you and I know you want to be clean. So he did help me for quite a while to help wash me so that I was able to still continue to be clean. And now I'm capable of washing myself, and I'm so proud because that's another proud moment for me that I have, you know, I've been able to take that back and say, you know what, no, I can now bathe myself again, and that is a good feeling. It's a really bad feeling when you have to give that up, because that's part of being a human is, you know, being able to clean yourself. And when you can't do those things, you feel so less of your own self. You know, that's how I felt. So then after I'm completely done with my shower, I come back into the room and
Okay, that's the end of that part. My favorite part is how she just explains very briefly. She touches on, it's a good thing to be able to clean yourself. Yeah. In general, nobody would disagree with that. Let's continue. I really enjoy this video because it is so shamelessly morbid. In two ways. It's morbid in like a grotesque kind of like gut wrenching way, and then it's also morbidly obese. Let's start at. God, there's like a 30-second pause and the next clip starts. Oh, I like this part because you'll see.
Works mighty well. And you just blow dry all your parts, like underneath your rolls under here. Underneath all your rolls is very, 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 very important that you get those areas extremely dry, because if not, what happens is the skin folds set together, and then as you're moving and walking throughout the day, it rubs, and then friction creates it to start rubbing even more raw, and then that's when you end up getting like those yeast infections and burns and the smell.
Shout out to, what's his name? Carl Skidmarks, who super chatted, imagine the smell of her yeasty rolls. So as she explains this process, go ahead and imagine the smell of her yeasty rolls.
And everything that comes along with all of that nastiness. A pain. So using a blow dryer is one of the biggest keys to helping keep down the breakdown of your skin. And I have learned that over time. When I could not blow dry, my husband blow dried me. So it's always been something that I have done for, it's been about the last, I'm going to say the last year and a half that I have started using this. And it's been a complete game changer on, you know, helping me not smell during the day, because I don't have any excess moisture because I've dried it all. So there's nothing there for it to create a smell. So very, very, very big key is blow drying. Blow drying everything, under every stomach roll, under every roll, between your toes. I mean, you blow dry every crick of yourself. If wherever you know that there's skin that could fold together, you blow dry it. And why I say toes is because there was even a point when my feet were really swollen that my toes.
Okay, let's pause it there because this next 30 seconds is just horrific. Yeah, I just need a break to mentally process this. She's basically explaining how not to ferment your own skin while you're still alive. It reminds me of the sisters, the brain damage sisters, because the Hartley Hooligans, because they smelled like cheese. Her mother would talk about how they had like a cheese smell to them. I guess because their immune systems were weak. I think that's right, because they both died of like an infection. So it's like their immune systems were compromised, and they had an issue not dealing with bacteria on the skin. The skin has an immune system of its own that deals with bacteria. So she's basically explaining how she's immunocompromised from being so obese, and how she has to take special considerations to not get yeast infections everywhere, like everywhere. And this part is just awful. Take a listen.
Those were really close together, and I actually would break out between my toes, and they would itch so bad that I remember having Ollie take towels, and he would go in between my toes, and he would itch it so bad, or scratch it so hard because that's what felt so good. By the time he was done, the skin was so raw and bloody, and just like, it was literally just meat in between my toes because he rubbed it so raw. But it was, I kept telling him, rub, because it itched so bad. Well, you know, and people kept saying, it's athlete's foot. No, it was not. It was not. I tried athlete's foot stuff. It wasn't. It was the same thing that happens under my fat rolls as it did my toes, because there was so much moisture built up in there. So it's very, very important. Blow dry your skin. Get it as dry as you can before you move on to the next step, which is...
Let's cut it there. I very much so love chat. This is my favorite. This is why I show people gross stuff, because the reaction in chat is just fantastic. It's euphoric to me. I was going to play a nasheed, but I know that Google has the system where if you play any like kind of Islamic music, they immediately delete your stream because it's like a thing. It's like an anti-terrorism thing that they do. So you can't share. If you share a video that has that music, it never even goes up. It gets taken down before it's done processing. And then if you stream it, you get in trouble. But I think this one's safe to play as we think about this. Let's see, what's the next one? 1952.
As long as you want it to go. Hello. Not gonna go very far. So, yes, this is called Nystatin cream. Amazing stuff, but I always request 3 bottles when they give it to me because you have to use it for, well, mine's all the time thing.
Why does she even bother to She says she asked for 3 of those antifungal creams when she goes to the doctor. And it's like, yeah, because you're fat and you have to apply it everywhere. You have like 4 times the body mass, the body surface area of a normal person. So yeah, you need 3 times the cream, right? Someone mentioned in the super chat that her right side is probably numb because she lays on her side and she has circulatory issues. So that's probably why it's inflamed. Yeah, that's one reason. And she has the whole thing about her feet and having to rub it until it's raw. That's a diabetes thing. So it's like... she obviously has serious health complications, and the reason why people even talk about her is because she's in she was in like a fat acceptance movement, and that's how people started talking about her, and now she's become like her own thing. But she was like a prominent member of fat acceptance, I think before she married her current husband and converted to Islam. So her body is already at a stage of decay that you would expect from a person in their 70s. And she doesn't look like she's older than 45. She's probably a little bit younger than that because she just looks bad from being so overweight. But, I mean, really, these are all, like, crucial danger situation type deals right now with the whole body decaying as you walk around or sit, in her case.
Hand all the time, because even with me personally, I take care of my skin very well, but I still get those times when I break down because, again, like I said, my skin is very sensitive. So it will scream when it wants to scream. Then, if you're having really no issues with your skin and you've dried your skin, you have no rashes, nothing to put any creams on or anything, then if you just apply a little bit of this.
Okay, if you're listening and you're not watching, let me explain. She's holding up a bottle of Argo 100% pure cornstarch in a gluten-free, stay fresh container. So let's see what she does with this cornstarch. What is the fate of this bottle?
Is what works. I put this under my boobs. I put this under every roll. I put this stuff everywhere. This stuff is amazing. And it's just cornstarch. You just get it from the grocery store. Nothing special. You don't have to use baby powder. You don't have to use any type of bacterial powder. Cornstarch. It does the works. So, and I mean, you get a huge thing. And this thing, oh my God, I buy 2 a year, and I swear, and I use this stuff every single shower. Like, I mean, because you don't need very much. You just need a little bit, and that stuff spreads. So, and it doesn't stick to your skin, but you don't want to put this on and also like use like a Desitin or something and then put this on. That becomes an issue. But if you don't have to use a cream, then cornstarch is the way to travel because honestly, it keeps me dry. I don't have any like sweating issues at all in any of my rolls. And if I do, I always have a little bit of backup in my purse so I can just kind of, and it's good. But I never really have ever had an issue with that. So this is another must have. If you're going to use powder in between your rolls, I would suggest it highly. And then you use deodorant.
Well, the rest of the video isn't that interesting. She mentions more of her cleaning routine, but what I do want to show you is some quality shots that people have. The one thing, it's that one, and I mean, this person is interesting enough to me, or it might be worth a full stream revisiting some of this. So keep that in mind. I'm trying to crop it a little bit because this is just one video. And she's had some really funny stuff done to her. I'm pretty sure that this guy looks like Bashar al-Assad. I hope that's not offensive to him. to Assad, I mean, not this guy. Here's her. For some reason, she apparently doesn't wear her scarf all the time. So when she uploads the stuff to Instagram, she will like MS Paint in her own headscarf for whatever reason to maintain her modesty, I guess. That's her. Maybe this was before they got married and she converted. But that's her. That's the guy. That guy 100% has a feeder fetish. There is no fucking way that you're rubbing someone's diabetes foot and helping them clean themselves in the way that he has been described to help her clean herself without being a feeder. I also want to show this she was assotted. I thought it was illegal to eat pork in Islam. This video, this gif is just quality. Look at her body shape. What would you even describe that? She legit looks like a cartoon character. Like, you know when like the cartoon characters pull up their pants and it makes like a perfect bowling ball shape until they drop it back down? That is like a bowling ball in a cloth bag. I also enjoy the medical structure. Like that office chair is obviously like super reinforced steel or something, aluminum. All right, that's enough of her for right now. I may be revisiting her in the future. Okay. Let me touch on this real quick because I want to know what people think. There is a petition, and I've been emailed in the past by people from the Opie and Anthony hate them. And right now they're asking, there's one guy who's trying to get me to help him set up a forum to talk about Opie and Anthony. And the other guy on the forum just wants me to open a community board for that. And here's what I know about Opie and Anthony. You ready? One of the guy's brothers emails me very angrily because he has a thread. And the other thing I know is that my first admin, Katsu Kitty, who I lost to the great Tranny Menace, was a big fan of Opie and Anthony before he transitioned and disappeared off the face of the planet and became a weirdo. So that's all I know about Opie and Anthony. Shout out to Chippa. So from what I understand, though, that this show has been dead for like 5 years. But they do have a connection to the Who Are These podcast, which I know Dick Masterson is a fan of and has been on the show, the Dick Show, a couple times. So I'm curious about why this is even a thing. And from what I understand and what's really off-putting about the Opie and Anthony stuff is that apparently a lot of it is in real life trolling where people screw with Opie, and when he tries to do like a comedy show, they harass the venue to get him get his show canceled, which isn't funny, or going up to live events and fucking with them there, or leaving 1-star reviews for people when they publish books, calling them a pedophile and stuff. And it's just like, if that's what they're doing, you know, I don't want that because that's not funny. That's really mean-spirited. But on the other hand, if it's just like a group of mild-mannered boomers, that's fine. I don't care. So I don't know. I'm just curious what happens. Opie and Anthony never dies. Hasn't it been dead for 5 years, though? Joe Goes is a transsexual now. Why are beets so gross to eat? They're not, especially if you boil them correctly. Opie and Anthony had an amazing show with all sorts of different characters, all sorts of clips still available on YouTube. Opie did nothing wrong. It is a cesspool, gay ops. No, it's not. I don't want people organizing like things where they show up in person at someone's book signing and screw with them. Like that's just like, I don't know. That's where it crosses the line, because I always say you can just turn off the computer. You can always turn off the computer. You can always not visit the forum, but you can't, have a book signing and have people come up and screw with you in person. You can't avoid that and maintain your life. If they're willing to pay to give them a board, it's not worth your time. He's willing to pay me to help him set up a different site, which I'm more in favor of. I don't mind using 1776 hosting to give them a place where I won't take them down, but I don't want them if they're going out and being mean in person. I don't want that. Why would you want Reddit rejects? I don't know. I've harbored the best of many different communities. I don't care where someone comes from, but you have to integrate. If you wanna immigrate, you have to do it legally, folks. We're gonna have the best legal immigrants, the best. Oh, and I've been working on the site to add features. Some of this stuff, by the way, I only found out about this Amy Ramadan lady because I have been working with the site to make a highlighting system where the best posts of each thread were featured within the thread as you read it, and I'm going to do more stuff with that. But I took some of the data and I looked at it to see what was really popular in the last week, and I ended up finding something completely new. So maybe I'll be able to find a more diverse category of people to talk about and bring it to the show, because I do like to feed everyone a quality meal of many different fruits and veggies and vitamins, okay? And that requires some foraging sometimes. Okay, let's put the last one in that voicemail, and then I will try to call this guy. Where is it? Aha.
Josh, this is Steve Horner. Well, time's up. I gave you simpletons a fair chance to ask your scrutinizing questions about my policies and beliefs, and you chickened out. And that's the way you chicken shits work. You call people names and make false claims behind their back through the secrecy and cover of the veil of the internet, but you don't have what it takes to confront a person in person. You see? You're just a lying coward who wants to stay in the shadows and make your own assumptions. And you're afraid of the truth. I don't know how you queer little faggots can even face yourselves in the mirror each morning. I just don't know how you can do it. I suppose that's the popularity of drugs, huh? My son Paul, he died stupid. There's no two ways about it. I would ask him scrutinizing questions about why he calls me names and lambastes Trump, and I would ask him scrutinizing questions. He would just say F you or screw you, and that couldn't answer. He got sucked into the funnel of darkness and idiocy where you people linger. And I know you know this, Knox, because he referenced your name, Josh. So it's a really pathetic state of affairs. And you know where you get it all from? Do you know how you have become this way? Because women want you this way. Women want you to be puppets because, you see, women can't scrutinize. They can't debate. They're weaklings by nature.
I think Coach Red Pill and this guy should write a book together. I think they'd get along really well.
Nature, you see, they can't stand up to a man's big voice and determined opinions. And so that's why they have all these crazy idiot harassing rules and guidelines and pussy whip little boys like you. They love to have little pussy whips like you suck up to them because then they get support, and they come up with idiot terms like misogyny. Well, a guy like me does not hate half the people on God's green earth. Rather, I really have a dislike for the idiot policies that women and little pussy whips like you try to present and perpetrate. You see? So the women have got you right where they want you, but they still don't screw you. You still remain a guy who goes through life without ever getting laid. Huh? That's why there's so many faggots. All you little boys hold hands and jerk each other off.
Four, three, five,
Ooh,
six.
No,
six,
stop it.
9,
Stop it.
6,
Stop saying
1.
the number. Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping he'd pick up, but as he explained in the first call or the second call, he doesn't answer his phone unless he's expecting the call. So I clearly I should have put in my appointment before I tried calling. Such a busy and well-known author. Oh well. Oh well. Is that it? I felt like I had something more. No, that was it. I was hoping to get a call, but that ain't happening, I guess. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming to my first Friday stream. It was like, yeah, I think this is the most concurrent viewers I've had that wasn't like a Amberlynn stream or a Chantal stream. So thank you. Hopefully this new time slot is better for everyone. Because it's much more convenient. And I will try tomorrow to put out a Life is Strange stream because we got to finish that. I have to know if my amigos from Seattle make it to Mexico and escape Trump's America, and we're all hoping the best for him. So, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the tips, everyone. And it's only 11 a.m. Mountain Time. My bad. I didn't call at noon. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Where's my song? Where's my song at? Okay. All right. See you when I see you.
Es gibt ein Haus in Neu-Berlin, man nennt es Haus Abendrot. Es war der Ruin vieler guter Jungs, von mir, mein Gott, litt ich Not. Hätte ich meinem Anführer zugehört, ich wäre heute daheim. War jung und dumm, war ein armer Jung, auf den Abweg geführt und gemein. von meiner Not. Den Rest meiner Tage bleib ich dort bei dem Hausabend.